10 out of 10 doing this rough. Can you hear me? Out of 10 doing this rough. Okay. So many technical issues today, but that's okay. You know why? Because we're here now. We're late, but we are here now. Microphone is on. There is light. We're doing it. We are doing it. Okay, really quick. Just gonna do my usual plug. Queen of Thieves: A New Throne. Available on Amazon.com. Good book. First book in a series, you know. Love it. Love it. We're gonna keep this baby. There's nowhere where I can keep it that'll still be visible on screen. Just keep it in front of me. That's beautiful. So, for my book this week, I know there was a lot of confusion and nonsense on my part. And I had said earlier that we are going to be, for the stream, we were going to be doing the Kevin Smith Green Hornet graphic novel. And I was wrong because I spent so much time. I plan out so much of all of this, like the writing, the YouTube. I plan out so much of it. And I'd always planned, like literally from the beginning of me doing these, I had planned on reading Marlon Bundo for Pride Month. And guess what I announced? The Green Hornet. So, but I'm sticking to it. We read Marlon Bundo. This is what we read. So, Marlon Bundo is the topic of discussion today. And we'll do Green Hornet for the next stream. Let me give a little bit of like a history with this book, because it's quite interesting. So Marlon Bundo is actually a real rabbit, is actually a real bunny. He is Mike Pence, the vice president's rabbit, like a while ago. Like this all happened like years ago. But Mike Pence released a book titled like A Day in the Life of the Vice President, and I don't know if it was like narrated or something by Marlon Bundo, but like Marlon Bundo was on the cover of his book. And last week tonight was doing like this whole series, like an episode dedicated to like studying and stuff, like that kind of stuff, looking into Mike Pence. They found this book. They also found out that like I believe it was some of his sponsors. It's been a while since I've seen this episode as well, so don't quote me on too many things here. But I believe they found out that Mike Pence, I feel like there was also had something to do with the book itself as well. But I do believe that his campaign, and he was politically sponsored and politically backed by this conversion therapy company, which, if you don't know what conversion therapy, it is when you go through treatments to try and cure yourself from being homosexual. Double checking. Can you hear? There you go. What?
Double checking.
Okay, so this is going to be a rough stream. Already know that. It's okay. It's okay. So, I don't know where it last cut off, but money raised from this book goes towards the Trevor Project. And let me say, because I'm a solid fan of Last Week Tonight. And so when I saw that this book was coming out, when I saw what it was, what it stood for, and what it was what the topic was going to be, I not only did I buy myself one for my future children and myself. We have quite a few kids' books, but we bought it for I bought it for my future children. But I also, because a guy I worked with had a child, and the child was adorable. So I was like, I should buy a second copy for him. They sold out. And so I was only able to get one copy. And then I, told this friend, hey, there's this book. And it's, not only was it made in a very hilarious, spiteful move, it's good topic, it's good subject matter, and it's all going towards a good cause. And he's like, hey, I got that same book. So there's a community of people who just respect what this book stands for, not only from the jackassy side of you have this man who is in cahoots with conversion therapy people, and we have made his rabbit gay. But it's also just, it's a good book. Money's going towards a good cause. It's not, you can tell, and as I was reading it, there is some of, that tone that John Oliver has with his jokes, and you can kind of feel that kind of energy, that spirit in this. But it's an actual kids book. That is actually what they were trying to make, is an actual story. You can read your children, and they'll enjoy it. They'll learn something from it. And love it. Also, can I just say, the watercolor in this, 10 out of 10. So, to the actual book, we have, first of all, there's Marlon Bundo. He is the bunny rabbit of the Vice President of the United States, and he is lonely. He's hopping around this big, musty old house, and he's lonely. So one day, he goes outside into the garden, and he meets this boy bunny named Wesley. And they have so much fun just hopping all around the garden. And when they had hopped every ounce of the garden, they went inside and they hopped all around the house. They broke a cake. It was great. And so they decide that they never want to stop hopping around together. And so they say, we're going to get married. And all of their friends are happy for them. But then you have this big stink bug that says, no, boy bunnies can't marry other boy bunnies. They have to marry girl bunnies. But the stink bug's in charge, so he feels like it's his right, and he has the right to say this. So all of the animals from the garden come together, and they vote the stink bug out, so Marlon and Wesley can get married. Marlon Bundo. I don't know if I have to say his first and last name. Marlon Bundo and Wesley get married, and they go on their bunny moon, which, by the way, bunny moon, there's no cuter word. There is no cuter word than bunny moon. 10 out of 10. So, again, it's a good book. That's what I was saying. It's not, if you even heard it, we were having some technical issues today. But it's not necessarily, today's not going to be a long stream, because again, it's like a 15-page book with probably a total of 50 words. The art in it is phenomenal. I love the watercoloring. You can see some of the sketch marks throughout. It's beautiful. I love it. There are times when, because again, the book this was kind of parodying was A Day in the Life of the Vice President, and you have at the very beginning of the book, Marlon Bundo was like, "Hey, I'm the bunny of the Vice President. But we're not going to talk about him because he's lame. I'm pretty cool though." And you see, those kinds of humor spots are very reminiscent of the tones you have for Last Week Tonight, and I found that I found it amusing, and I found it just kind of a nice touchback on where this book comes from and the community, the people that did this, like, put this effort in to make this creation, which, like, when you see, if you've never seen Last Week Tonight, they do so many, like, crazy stunts. Like, for instance, something that's coming to mind immediately, I can't remember what head of state he was, like, John Oliver and some head of state were not from America, were sending essentially videos back and forth of them doing, like, pretty badass looking videos over generic CC0 music. And so you have, like, there's one he does, and that ended up being, like, part of his, like, usual commercials for the show, is just he has fireworks and flames shooting up behind him. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. And it's just him, like, back and forth with this guy. You'll see him do interviews with people where they may be talking about the most serious subject in the world, but he'll start cracking jokes in the middle of it, and he'll ask, like, just weird, dumb questions. Because, you know, because that's kind of his shtick. They're there to make a good time and have everyone have a good time. Also, like, the art, but so this is really kind of like just another one of his antics making this book, but it was 100% not, there was the comedic sense to it, but there was still so much heart and so much genuine, like, desire to have this representation in a child's book. It's like, it's so sweet, it's adorable. It's for sure something I would read to my children. They end up having the wedding where, like, you also have a bunch of other same-sex couples come out. They're, like, they've never been mentioned before. Like, there are otters that come out of, like, every other character in this. Let's talk about this for a second. Every other character that is mentioned in this book. You got a turtle, you got a badger, you got a bug. What are you? What is this thing? A hedgehog? I think that's a hedgehog. Hedgehog and a dog. Like, those are normal, like, characters just be hanging around. I think they're on a military base too. This is, like, that's a normal character to be hanging around in the middle of, like, wherever they're at. And then you have these cats, which, fine, I understand cats can be anywhere. I live in Hawaii. There are cats everywhere. Cats can appear wherever they want. But where are these otters coming from? They're, like, otters are the groomsmen. Two otters show up as the groomsmen, and no one wants to explain to me where these otters come from, because I'm fairly certain otters need to be, like, on water, but they look like they're around a lot of dry grass. Maybe it's a little, it's short, yellow green. Like, looking at this grass makes me think it would probably be a little itchy, that kind of grass. So I don't know where these otters come from. My only other, like, it's not really a dispute. It's my only other comment, really, that I have to say for this book is there is a point in time where, excuse you, there's a point in time where everyone's talking about, like, because the stink bug's like, hey, you can't marry a boy bunny, you're weird, you're different for wanting to marry a boy bunny, and all the other animals are like, hey, I do things that are different. And so the first one was like, the badger's like, I eat my sandwiches crust first. Is it? I know it's in, like, every single kids show that kids only eat a sandwich with the crust cut off. First of all, I've never heard of them cutting crusts off and then eating the crust afterwards. Have you heard that? I've never heard that. But second of all, is it actually that common for a kid to demand their crust being cut off? I know, like, when I was young, I might, like, I'll eat the sandwich, and then if there's crust left over, I might just not eat that. But I've never cut off the crust. Because I feel like the sandwich is a lot less stable when the crust has been cut off, because you have that, like, thick, it's a little stiffer, and that holds the bread and gives the bread some solid, like, just strength. It's the glue. It is the glue of the sandwich. When you cut off the crust, now it's really mushy everywhere. It's a little more floppy. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Let me know. Did you need the crust cut off of your sandwich? This is an important matter. This is an important matter. We need this decided. But other than that, yeah, it's a really cute book. I think it's adorable that they're like, hey, let's... No one likes him. He's stinky. They call him, they say, like, they know for sure. They let us know. He's real stinky. So, but they vote him out, and then he's still trying to be like, no, but this, and this. And they're like, you're not in charge. Get out. No one likes you. Love it. Aww. Yeah, and then at the very end of the book, it's like an image of Marlon and Wesley, and they're dreaming of like swinging a little baby bunny in between. It's adorable. I'm a fan. And, like, I'll show you this. Can you see that? Like all these glasses and bow ties, because Marlon Bundo wears a bow tie and Wesley has glasses. It's adorable. I love this book. I think it is a great children's book. It is a children's book that you should read to your children. Get this for them. Let them learn about the different people in the world. It's a fun time. But that's really all I had to say. Again, this is kind of what I don't tend to read. Like, I'm not like reading a ton of kids books. I know there's like a kids book week. I honestly just kind of missed that one. But just because it's a short book, so I don't have a ton to say on it. Most of what I had to say about it, like maybe not most, but half of it was based on the actual show. But I respect them for going forth and making this book. It's really good. What's under it? Let's actually... Oh, that's cute. I appreciate that. So it does come with a sleeve, but under the sleeve is the exact same image, which I appreciate, because you know nothing is more tragic than when you lose your book sleeve or when you break it or something, and then you're just left with this, like, I don't even know what kind of material it is, but the material underneath it has the title of the book embossed on the front. But it's not the same as that artwork, and we have it here. 10 out of 10. Last week tonight wins the game. So that's that. That's all I really have to say about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys didn't mind the technical difficulties too much. But until next time, valedictions, friends.